Welcome one and all to the next matchup of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Master of Faster tournament here on the HomeBoiz channel. Today we'll be watching as Sayer of the Arcadia movement goes up against Iliaster's own Aporia. Starting with Sayer's deck, he has the classic 2009 Psychic deck, fitting in just about every monster that debuted in the era. These walking lab experiments all drain the user's life points in order to activate their various effects, from blocking attacks to powering up one another, or even the deadly Mind Master, who summons monsters out of the deck. While some of the cards in the main deck recover the life you've lost, the extra deck does the same while circumventing the need to draw into one with the deck's lack of spell trap searching. Sayer's side deck takes a dive into the speed of the modern game with the Psy-Frame monsters, android-like beings that summon themselves straight out of the hand to negate your opponent's cards and instantly move into a synchro once the damage is dealt. Let's see what Aporia has to counter Sayer's myriad of moves. We've seen decks that look like a nightmare to pilot before, but Aporia takes that to a new level. The Wise, Grand, and Sky Cores are the ideal monsters in his deck. You want to draw into one of these three and destroy them with a card effect in order to summon the 5 pieces of your Mech Lord out of the deck, hand, or grave. And some of these individual parts come with their own effects that they provide to the Mech Lord, while each of the 3 Mech Lords share the effect of absorbing 1 synchro every one of his turns. However, if your opponent manages to destroy your Infinity piece, your whole conglomerate is destroyed! Following up this strategy is the TCG versions of the Mech Lords. Weaker cards altogether, but they're singular cards that can be summoned out when any monster on your field is destroyed by an effect. So while the 15 pieces are dead cards, their self-destruct effects can summon out one of their TCG counterparts. Completely separate from this strategy though is the Mech Lord Army, a series of level 4 monsters with effects that don't support the archetype whatsoever, but are simply guaranteed normal summons. The last level of this 60-card monstrosity is your 2 ultimate boss monsters, Astro Dragon Asterisk and Astro Mechanical, who come with their own built-in protection and burn damage. The Spell and Trap lineup is also a confused mess of tiny amounts of burn damage, and a small number of Aporia's cards destroy monsters to enable his Mech Lord plays in the first place. However, any duelist should beware of Chaos Blast and Future Destruction, as those impressive deck-thinning machines are the glue that binds these strategies together, especially with the much more focused support cards that lie in wait in his side deck. Exactly how many duels can Aporia win, and will the heart of the cards be on his side? Find out here. Ready, set, duel! Sayer versus Aporia is going to be a phenomenal and interesting matchup. We're going to see Sayer set a card in the back row and normal summon the Krebon's Tuner monster, who at the cost of paying 800 can negate any attack that is launched against him. For Aporia's turn, we're going to see him respond with a face down and a Chaos Blast spell card to throw away 3 level 1 machines from the deck to destroy the Krebons. And the monsters he chooses are really fascinating as he throws away the 3 most important monsters in his deck: Sky Core, Grand Core, and Wise Core, completely disregarding them and leaving 15 dead cards in his deck, all to destroy a level 2 monster with 1200 attack. He'll set another card in the back row as well as another monster before ending his turn. Sayer here is going to normal summon the very thick-bodied 1900 attack Assault Beast instead of using its effect so that he can swing over and easily destroy the Skeel top that was set down. But Aporia will now banish the 3 cores in his graveyard to activate Mech Lord Emperor Creation, whose effect will summon and then equip itself to the boss monster Mech Lord Astro Mechanical. Now, here is a fascinating combination, as Mech Lord Astro Mechanical can throw away the different pieces of the Mech Lord monsters in order to gain their effects. And in combination with that, we have the equipped trap card Emperor Creation, who can banish those discarded pieces in order to protect Mechanical from being destroyed. A truly devastating 2-card wombo combo. And since Mechanical also counts as an Infinity card,
Grand Carrier, as well as the various other pieces of the Mech Lord monsters, can be summoned without going straight to the grave. So Mechanical is going to swing in and crush the Assault Beast, dealing 2,100, while Carrier chips in for an additional 700 directly, leaving Sayer at a mere 5,200 life points. Not a lot of room to work with, considering all the monsters in his deck require life to use their effects, so all he can do is set a monster and pray that he lives to survive another turn. Carrier is going to bravely swing in with its 700, easily dominating the Life Force Harmonizer. And we're going to see the trap card Telepathic Power activate here, allowing Sayer to destroy one of Aporia's monsters, specifically the one that just attacked, and then gain its attack as life points. But that gain will be completely depleted by the 1,000 attack Skill attack before Sayer faces the Mech Lord Mechanical himself, leaving him with nearly 900 life points. Sayer is now in the life point danger zone, but the trap card did keep him alive. We'll see him now activate his other face down Psychic Trigger, which can be activated when his life points are lower than the opponent's, allowing him to take 2 Psychic monsters from the graveyard, remove them from play, and draw 2 additional cards. We saw that he did top deck a really phenomenal monster, but I guess it just isn't enough, as he has to set a monster and pass his turn. So, activating the Twin Vortex, taking no risks, Aporia can destroy a monster on his field as well as Sayer's last hope before Mechanical snatches the game. This is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Grand Prix, where absolutely anything is possible after the game we've just witnessed. And in a complete 180, he's went from the ultimate offense to a rather questionable defense, as Aporia will start the duel by setting a monster and 2 back row to pass the turn. Sayer doing no better by only setting a singular card in his back row. Aporia will respond with Spark Breaker to destroy his very own Skycore. And with Skycore being destroyed by a card effect, he can bring out from his deck Skill Guard, the Skill Carrier, Skill Top, Skill Emperor, and the Skill Attack for a 2,200 attack Mech Lord. Not only can the Mech Lord Emperor skill not be targeted by a card effect, but with the effect of Skill Guard, he can negate any one attack every single turn. Now going to Aporia's move, he's going to set a card and activate his other face down, Infinity Barrage. Since the opponent Sayer has no monsters on his field, Aporia can do 400 damage for every single monster that he controls in exchange for not being able to attack. Maybe he's actually incredibly wary of the one face down card that Sayer has and is trying to play around that. Regardless, he takes 2,000 damage, which is not too off the mark compared to if he had just attacked, so it is a rather smart play. Sayer's turn ends with absolutely nothing. And now we see that as Skill finally launches an attack, Sayer's going to activate Psy Frame Gear Beta, who can negate the attack and summon itself along with the Psy Frame Driver from its deck. Now he has the monsters that he can use to conduct a Synchro Summon. Not only that, but Psy Frame Gear Beta destroys the Mech Lord Emperor, which causes all 5 of the pieces to crumble. With room on his field though, Aporia can now summon Mech Lord Army Deployer Obligado, and during the main phase, it can destroy itself to summon 2 Mech Lord Army monsters from the deck, but they have to be summoned in defense mode. Then Obligado can go ahead and do 100 points of damage for every Mech Lord Army monster that he has during the end of the turn. And since the turn has come to an end, Sayer loses his 2 Psy Frame monsters, but they don't just die, they get removed from the game, which is highly unfortunate since his Psy Frame gears do not summon Psy Frame Driver from the Banish pile. He's going to activate the field spell though, Brain Research Lab, which not only gives him an extra normal summon if it's a psychic monster, but it allows him to put counters onto the Research Lab instead of paying life points to activate all of his psychic monster's effects. He has to be wary though, because if Aporia finds a way to destroy this field spell, the Brain Research Lab will deal 1,000 damage to Sayer for every counter that it had before it left. We'll see the Psychic Commander hit the field with 1,400 and be equipped with the Psychic Sword. The Psychic Sword will have the ability to boost Psychic Commander's attack points by up to 2,000 based off of the life points difference, bringing it up to 3,400 and destroying the Mech Lord Army of Weisel and ending his turn. Aporia is going to draw, set 2, and pass. Sayer's going to start his turn and be met with the Level Cannon Continuous Trap card. So now every time Sayer summons a monster, he'll take damage equal to its level times 200. Absolutely tearing away at his life every time he tries to establish a board presence. He'll take 800 from the telekinetic shocker hitting the field, but he'll also activate Psychic Rejuvenation, giving him back 2,000 life points, 1,000 for every psychic monster on his field. And he'll get rid of the massive sword-equipped Psychic Commander in order to do a link summon of the Psy-Frame Lord Lambda. But that's not all, because he's also going to be activating the trap card Psychic Tuning to bring back the tuner monster Psychic Commander. And since Psychic Commander hit the field, that's 600 more life points. Sayer isn't scared though, because he'll pay another 800 to activate Premature Burial and revive the other monster he just used for a link summon. Meaning that with these two cards in his back row, he created a tremendous advantage for himself. Level Cannon will fire for 800, leaving Sayer with 4,800 though. But Psychic Commander destroys the Mechlord Army Skeel, and Skeel can use its effect upon being destroyed in battle to summon another Mechlord Army from deck. So here is the 1800 defense Obligado, which will wall all the monsters on Sayer's side of the field, but cost Aporia 800 life points. We'll see the telekinetic shocker destroy another Skeel, so Aporia will be taking another 800 damage to his own level cannon before Lambda go ahead and strikes into the Obligado. Normally he would lose this battle since he is a weaker monster, but by paying up to 500 life points, the Psychic Commander can reduce the attack and defense of the enemy's monster. So Obligado dropped down low enough for Lambda to destroy it. But Obligado will also use his effect and deal an extra 100 points of damage during the end phase. Now in main phase 2, we'll see both of Sayer's monsters leave the field for the synchro summon of Psy-Frame Lord Zeta. Psy-Frame Lord Zeta will cost Sayer a massive 1,400 life point damage though. We'll see Sayer tune his telekinetic shocker here in main phase 2 for the Psy-Frame Lord Zeta with 2,500. However, due to the effect of his psychic tuning, as well as the effect of Level Cannon, both of the trap cards will be tearing away at what little life points Sayer has left, leaving him with only 2,200, 21 after the effect of Obligado. For Aporia's turn, he'll be activating the spell card Boon of the Mechlord Emperor to draw one card for every Mechlord monster on his field, which in this situation is a singular card. Obligado will use its effect, sacrificing itself to summon 2 copies of the Mechlord Army of Granul, who could both use their abilities to cut a monster's attack and defense points in half permanently. Level Cannon's going to trigger first, and Obligado is going to chain to chip away at the end phase. Aporia will take 1,600 damage, but it's worth it because now he has his Granul, who can cut Lambda in half and then in half again, bringing it down to 425 attack points before choosing to end his turn. And with 2 Mechlord Army monsters on the field, Obligado drops Sayer to 1,900. For Sayer's turn, he's going to simply attack a Granul to remove it from the field using his mighty Psy-Frame Lord Zeta. Then he's gonna end his turn there. For Aporia's turn, he's going to use Granul to shrink the Lambda yet again, absolutely ignoring the Frame Lord Zeta as if it poses 0 threat to him. We'll also see the Chaos Blast get activated, this time dumping 3 pieces of the Granul Mechlord in order to destroy the Mechlord Army of Granul off of Aporia's field. He's going to do this and then set a monster and activate the Spark Breaker trap card to destroy one of his own monsters once per turn. The monster that he destroyed was of course the Wise Core, and with no monsters on the field, he can summon the Wisel Top, Wisel Attack, Wisel Guard, Wisel Carrier, and the Mechlord Emperor Wisel Infinity at the cost of 1,000 damage, which is nothing considering that he summoned 5 monsters at once. Thankfully for him, they were all level 1 creatures. So, Mechlord Emperor Wisel is going to use its ability in order to snatch the Psy-Frame Lord Zeta and increase its attack points to 5,000 before setting a card and giving Sayer one more opportunity to move. Sayer draws into the Emergency Teleport Quick Play Magic card and summons the Psychic Jumper straight out of his deck. But Level Cannon fires for 400. Psychic Jumper here is going to use its effect, paying 1,000 but actually deferring the payment to the Brain Research Lab so that he can pick a monster on the field along with a psychic monster he controls and switch control of them. So Psy-Frame Lord Lambda is going to be switching over with one of the Weisel pieces. However, in response, we can see the Spark Breaker continuous trap card destroy the target that he would have given control of, meaning that the Jumper's plans have been foiled. And since it's the end of the turn, the monster summoned with Teleport will now be removed from the game. So with no moves left, Sayer has to end his turn. But during the M phase, he will use Lambda's ability to get the Psy-Frame Multi-Threader to his hand. For Aporia's turn, we're going to see him switch the Weisel into attack mode. And even though it was weakened by losing its 1200 attack Weisel attack, it still has 3800 attack to Lambda's 213 attack. So this is game, and Aporia wins the duel.